but how do people say that they should have protein? That's my whole topic for the presentation today. First of all, we will start with introduction to national revivalism. We'll move to specific movements and figures such as Robert Powell and the Boy Scouts, Cecil Sharp, and the folk dance revival and more. We'll explore the impact of modernism on revival movements, and we'll discuss the dynamics, gender roles, and media technology roles, and we'll address the debates on cultural ethnicity, limitations, and failures, and finally, the legacy and significance of these revival efforts. In summary, revival in England, the chapel revival in England explored on the 20th century's attempts to revive the English national identity through the cultural revival movement efforts led by figures like Roberts, Powell, Boy Scouts, Cecil Sharp, folklore dance revival, and amended to continue to the effects of industrialization by promoting traditional English values. This movement faced challenges to related class, gender, modern influence, which complicated the construction of cohesive national identity. Okay, national revelation. The introduction. Overview the cultural effort in 20th century in England. During the early 20th century, there was a growing concern about the impact of the industrialization in traditional English values and identity. Cultural revival movements emerged as a response to seeking to revive and preserve the rich heritage of England. This movement aimed to reconnect the people with their cultural roots and restore a sense of national pride. Industrialization brought rapid change, and this society wanted to preserve declined traditional values, lost a connection past to the revival movement south of. Contrary to this effect, arts, custom belief, and art. They aim to create a sense of community with the past and provide framework of unify the national identity. Robert Powell and the Boy Scouts. Robert Powell, as a military officer, founded the Boy Scouts in 1970. The organization aimed to develop charter physical fitness young boys through the outdoor activities. They code and conduct based on chivalry and service of Boy Scouts. So instead of more values, discipline, of sense of responsibility in young age, preparing them to become active, engaging citizens. I can add to this information that in days later, women's come to add to be part of the Boy Scouts, but they add activities more qualified to women's, like make things like they can do in home, like cooking, etc. But not a lot of the same activities that the boys do. By Powell's motivation to found the Boy Scout statement from his concern about perceived the moral, physical decline among the young boys. He believed that the industrialization of society had the weakness to traditional values to learn physical traits. Through Scotland, Powell aimed to counter these negative influences to shape the young boys to be responsible and well-grounded by being individuals.
Hi guys, I'm going to continue talking about this movement. he has said many of the things, but I'm going like to review many of the things that he has already said. Well, to have an idea why this movement was created, let's think first in this situation. When a country is fighting against other nations, when the battle is over, probably the citizens of that country might feel down or discouraged, unmotivated, due to all the negative effect that the battle left. So to restore the nation is needed to help the citizen or to motivate the citizen to rebuild the country, to keep celebrating the tradition as a country, to keep the identity that identifies the nations. So with that in mind, now let's talk about the movement itself. That movement, as he said already, was created in the 20th century by Baden-Powell. So he suggested to use boys, especially young men, and also, by the way, girls, to be trained to defend England. Because by that time, the young population was like discouraged, unmotivated. They were just focused on smoking, and they didn't want to do anything, And the security of England was in risk. That's why this man, Baden-Powell, decided to train those boys as a new generation to defend the country, probably for future battle. So that training, by the way, was about working out. For example, they went on a mountain, on an outdoor place, and they used to work out or exercise, and also they used to cook their own food, and they used to also to make activities, and they also they did activity outdoors, going around outdoor activities to know the environment, animals, and by the way, at some point or some sense, they have to be like rude, because as you know, soldier, they have to be like kind of rude people, because they have to, even if it's needed, they have to, to kill others if it's needed. So this men, Baden-Powell, they wanted to train a strong and brave man. They want to train those men so that they can defend England. So they want that he can be willing to defend the country. And also, by the way, as I said before, he took advantage of the situation because he also wanted to train girls. But not to train girls for the battle, not to fight. But he wanted to train girls to be good wives for those boys or for those men, and also to be good mother for the future kids. So it was like a wife's house. And also the role of those girls was going to be like to care their family if they get sick also. So Bible was focused on that training. By the way, he posted a book that is called The Boy Scouts. This book promotes values like discipline, kindness, responsibility, and commitment. And by the way, he took advantage also to post books that talks about girls. By the way, he trained those people, not just face to face, but he trained them just by posting books. So people only have to read those books, and they can to transmit the thought, the thinkings that he had. By the way, this man, he worked at some point in Africa as a soldier. And in that country, he learned a lot of things from that culture. And he took that culture to write books. That's why many of the books that he wrote, we can find many information about the African culture, the color, the clothing, and many of that things. And also, this sailing chart and also a married meal, those people also supported English culture to implement or to restore the English dances. Because as you know, the dance of one the country is part of the culture. So they also needed to restore that part of the culture, to recover the identification of the identity of the England people. So that was everything. I don't know if you want to add something else.
Most important impact on learning on the movement Bible faces the constant tension to promote the values. They face many challenges to restore the old culture that they have. Demands of the modern life. One of that there was designed to preserve the traditional customs and practices. On the other hand, there was a need to ensure that the values will be a reminder for the people in England and meaningful in the context of rapidly changing the world. Revival movement recognized the power of the modern media in reaching with the audience. They utilized newspapers, magazine, radio, television, dismissed in revivalist ideas by immersing the people in the contemporary communication tools to movements were able to promote traditional values to reach the individual who may not to otherwise be exposed to those ideas. So the challenges that they they faced was the following. Revival movement faced the challenges in appealing different social class. Traditional custom and values were often associated with the upper class, lending the resistance and skepticism to lower class community, bring the class divide and making the revivalist idea accessible to all of significant challenges for this movement. They have a debate cultural for their identity or ethnic representation. The revival movement sparked debates about the cultural identity and representation. To some argued that revival efforts were romanticized and idealized the version of the past, while the others believed that they were a genuine attempt to reconnect England to its past culture. These debates highlight the complexity of the structure to unify the national identity to subject natural and authenticity for the England culture. So, as I said before, here's when the woman is included in the Boy Scouts. Revival movement often reinforces the traditional gender roles with different expectations for men and women. The Boy Scouts, for example, focus on primarily developed skills, leadership skill, and physical prowess in boys, while the girls expected to participate in separate organizations that emphasize domestic skills and natural qualities. This gender expectation limited the reach and effective of revival movement. As I said before, they separate the skills for men, young men, and women. They focus on the domestic skills for women and focus on roots or something more physically for men. Gender conflicts within revival movement had the impact to the rich effectiveness. The exclusion of women for certain activities, leadership roles limited, movement ability to engage broader audience. It also hybrid the movement potential to challenge traditional gender norms to promote the gender equality within the context of rebel. As I said, they are supposed to divide the activities to equalize the things for genders, to doing something good for men and something different for the women. media and technology. Revival movement employ various strategies to popularize the traditional values to modern means. They leverage the power of mass media to disseminate their ideas using newspaper, as I said, radio magazine, broadcasts, and rich reading outlets. Additional, the movement embraced technology advances to such as recorded music, later in television, to showcase a traditional culture to the people, the new generation. They use contemporary tools to promote historical tradition, create a paradox with the revival movement, while this technology facilitates the peers to revive ideas. They also raise a question about the authenticity of the integrating in the revival movement. The movement had a negative tension between the modernity tradition and finding ways to balance to the contemporary culture with the preservation of historical practice. So they have a big challenges to show the people, to teach the people the culture, because the technology now doesn't match with the old things that they do in the past. But they try to use the new technology to teach the people the culture and connect the people with the culture that they have in the beginning. And also the debates on cultural authenticity. The revival movement debates about how they will be a true England in this tradition. Some arguments strict preservationist approach focus to the historical accuracy in a specific original custom. Others advocated for more inclusive approach, acknowledging the influence of the cultural exchange and adaptation over the time. This discussion reflects the diverse perspectives within the movement shape their strategy for the cultural revival. So they have many challenges to revive the culture, custom, the focus and show the people the costume that they have. So these challenges makes debates so how they can do that for show the new generation that. Thus, the preservation adaptation was a constant challenge of revival movement, that they have to find the ways to honor and preserve the traditional customs, as you say there, dancing, the girls, this costume. They have to find how to preserve traditional custom. They need for this custom evolve and remain relevant street. These values require careful consideration of historical context, cultural exchange, and changing needs of society. In conclusion, influences subsume the English about national identity. The revival movement has a lasting legacy of significant influences. Discussed to English about the national identity. They sparked debates about traditional cultural identity and the role of the past shaping the present. Revivalism, ideas, and challenges faced by this movement continue in front of contemporary conversation about the preservation of cultural heritage and the construction of national identity. Now, they show the people and connect the people with the beginning, the culture. They face every year, every generation, challenges to teach the people, connect the people with the culture, with the beginning, with the resources that they used in the past, with everything that means being a really